Today, I ask you this question. If you had 4 to 5 hours free in an afternoon, where and what would you do with it? Well, I tell you what I would do. I'd get lost in the woods. Slight chance I'm kidding. Now, for those of you that don't know, I love to chase views. I'll do it any chance I can get, whether that's hiking through trails, hiking on a ridgeline, or in today's case, standing on a mountain overlooking a lake and an ocean. Today, we are headed out for another adventure on the west coast of BC in search of an epic view from a beautifully wood-carved bench that has eluded me every time I've gone and done this hike. All while doing my best to not re-injure my recovering ankle. The area we are exploring today is on Gallagher Hill in Powell River. Now, every time I explore this area, I find different trails and different forks in the path that lead me to some unexpected gems in the forest. Usually means a different path explored every time. I've explored these trails a half a dozen times, and with each outing, I have not succeeded in finding the wood-carved bench that I had only seen in pictures that piqued my interest so many years ago. Along with the illustrious views that I chase on a weekly basis, I love being out in the wilderness. Being able to take all the smells, noises, and feelings I get when I'm outdoors and miles away from civilization. Hiking or backpacking for me is, well, it's a way of life. It's a way I can ground myself, mentally and physically. Not only is it a physical challenge to hike up a mountain and explore the beautiful outdoors, but it's also a mental one, especially if you're going solo. This brings me to a very important topic, which I'll only touch on briefly. But if you have little to no experience being alone in the backcountry, or any experience of the areas you're interested in exploring, I highly recommend not putting yourself at risk by adventuring solo. Bring a friend, hire a guide, or at the very least, give someone you trust and that knows the area very well a detailed itinerary of what you're planning and when you expect to be home. It can be a simple slip and fall that really ruins your day, even for any experienced adventure seeker. You ever seen 127 Hours? Then you know what I mean. Now, I'm not trying to deter you at all, but I do want you to make it home safe and be able to share your experiences with the people you know, including me. So leave a comment at your latest adventure. Tell me about it. I love hearing about other people's adventures as much as I enjoy posting my own for you guys to enjoy. Now, back to today's adventure. As I hiked along this narrow trail that seemed like I was miles from the yellow brick road, I really do feel it's so important to stop and not rush through things and to take it all in when you're out exploring. The smell of the trees, the wildlife you come across, enjoy the experience and the grind out as much as you do when you get to see the view. I know for me personally, once I started appreciating the climb and the effort it took to finally reach the view, I enjoyed the adventure and loved every aspect of being out and chasing those views even more. As I took a steep shortcut up some slippery rock and through some spectacular tree cover, twisting and turning along a narrow beaten path, this is what I was presented with. Not only did I get a spectacular view of Haslam Lake, I was able to witness a pair of gorgeous eagles circling overhead. This alone was enough to stop me in my tracks and spend more time than I was planning to gaze out over the lake and the forest that surrounded me. Sadly, though, as I looked around, I didn't see a wood-carved bench anywhere, and I knew that the view I was searching for was 1,000 times better than the one I was just graced with. So I took one more look at the lake and I carried on in hopes I'd find what I came searching for before I ran out of time or got completely lost. Now, most of the time, these trails on the west coast are well beaten and very clearly marked. This trail was no different, except for one specific thing. Every kilometer or two, the markers changed. It didn't matter what fork on the trail I took, they changed between three markers so consistently it really made me wonder what direction I was heading, north or south, or deeper into the woods, or towards my destination. This quickly brought another question in my mind. Will I ever find my way back to the truck before dark? Granted, I had a headlamp and I was prepared for the worst if today's adventure turned into a night hike, but I did have plans this evening that I didn't want to have to postpone. As I ventured on, though, I realized I wasn't just circling the top of a mountain and wandering through the woods aimlessly on the verge of covering myself in sticks and becoming one with the forest. I came to realize I had not found what I set out to find, but I was indeed starting the descent. Now, for those of you that have gone through any injury, especially to do with your legs, it's a slow process to recovery and something you really can't rush or fake. Otherwise, it could set you back even further. And I knew it was going to be a slow process for myself to get back to where I once was. This was made very apparent when I started the decline, which was much harder on the nowhere near 100% ankle. As the sun began to set and visibility in the darker parts of the forest began to worsen, the trail markers changed yet again. But thankfully at this point, I knew roughly what direction I needed to head, and if I kept at it, then I'd eventually find my way out. As I took my time, making sure not to eat my own words from earlier, pushing through the slight voice in my head that said, "Your ankle is on fire," which I did my best not to listen to, I eventually noticed some familiar markings in the trail ahead. Some orange diamonds, roughly 2 inches by 2 inches, nailed to the trees. They were indeed Sunshine Coast Trail markers. Now, I didn't start on the Sunshine Coast Trail, but I knew that there was a Sunshine Coast Trail crossing near my truck, and if I carried on the direction I was heading, it was minutes away from a comfy seat and a place I could take my boots off and let my sweaty, smelly feet breathe once again. Now, every time I come close to or near finishing any adventure, I have a sense of sadness. I have to wait patiently until the chance I get to explore yet another beautiful trail or have the opportunity to chase another stunning view. With all that, I can with 100% certainty say that I am amped up for the next adventure, and I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed following along on today's adventure, be sure to leave a like, comment, and let me know where your latest adventure took you. And until next time, I'm Johnny with Amped Up Adventures in Fitness, and here's to you on chasing your next view.